Hey everyone, put where you're from over there in the chat box. There's always a few things you got to do once you go live, and I am taking care of them things. We'll start in about 2 minutes, so I'll be right back. Again, we'll start in about 1 minute. Just put where you're from over there. Everyone remember that YouTube is getting slammed these days. So if there's any problem whatsoever, just reload the screen, your browser. It should work. Reason to see me tonight a lot. I am Forrest. I do have a profile, but tonight is all about getting information to you guys. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself. And I never like doing this, but my leadership team tells me I always need to do this. And so I kind of do this because I trust them. I'm, former Air Force. I was at the bank in the Strategic Technology Group, which we started the internet initiative for Bank of America. Actually it was a Nations Bank. I'm a survival instructor, NRA instructor, ham licensed general, Krav Maga, speaker, educator, radio podcast, author of a book called The Case for Christian Preparedness. Tonight's lesson is taken exactly from another book that I've written, but it's not been published yet. So you guys, I've taught the class, I wrote the book, and now I'm going to teach you guys what I put together. I'm the founder of Preparedness, and I'm also the CEO of Sun Ovens International. Hope you guys have heard of Sun Ovens International. Let's see, am I still on there? Yep. I'm going to take myself off in a minute. What is Preparedness? A lot of you guys don't have any idea. Again, I'm going to just briefly touch through this. We'll go real quick, but Preparedness is an organization of like-minded individuals who believe in personal responsibilities, individual freedoms, and preparing for disasters of all origins. I don't know. It could be one coming up. This group is aimed at individuals that have an interest in gaining knowledge, acquiring skills, and networking with like-minded individuals. Our goal is to have meetups throughout the United States. Currently, we have 67 meetups. Actually, we just 68. Well, it hasn't started. We have Atlanta. We're doing Southeast Atlanta is getting ready to start. But we have meetups throughout the United States. And the goal is for you to go and spread your germs. Your goal is to go and meet like-minded people in your hood, in your neighborhood, in your city. And that's the goal, because you'll hear me time and time again that groups are the most important prep, and you can't form a group don't form a group by people you find on the internet. Don't do that. So anyway, we have 67 meetups right now. A lot of them are suspended just for, situation going on, but we still have city leaders that really want to meet you, get involved, do some online training and things. So I do have an expert panel, and I love sharing my expert panel because these are the who's who in the prepping, surviving world. You got JJS from Amron, Jonathan Hollerman, Scott Hunt, which he's going to be on one of my Sunday night lives with me soon. Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy. That's Joe and Amy. We've had, if you want to watch some of their recordings that I've interviewed them, check out the YouTube channel. Charlie Hogwood, Glenn Tate, Shelby Gallagher, Sam Kopler, which, yes, he's doing one of these nerd studies tonight, but don't worry, I'm bringing it to you. Sam's going to do it for us. So if you missed it, don't worry, we're bringing it here. And it's just for the Preparedness members at that point. This is open to everyone. So you'll get a little bit more details. Survivor Jane, Rick Alston, Franklin Horton, Ryan Mitchell, and Brian Duff. Hope you've heard of all of these guys. They're good friends. They've helped me a lot through the years of getting this organized. And I did write a book. I said, The Case for Christian Preparedness. I usually try to give this away. I didn't write this for money. That's kind of a joke that people. Well, I guess you got to be like a Mark Goodwin or someone that can write like a book a month, but it's a small book. And I usually give it away, but with the KDP from Amazon, it only lets me give it away one time per quarter. And I've already done that this past quarter, so I can't do that. I'm sorry. If there is a way you can get it free, and I'll tell you how you do that later. Like I said, I am the CEO of Sun Oven International. We sell an appliance you put in the sun and it cooks your food, and it is amazing. You can't burn your food. You can't overcook your food. It comes out absolutely perfect. You think you went to a 5-star restaurant. We also, people don't understand, is that a third of the earth still uses wood to cook or charcoal. And the leading cause of death for young children, like age 7 and below in the continent of Africa, is a respiratory infection from mothers cooking in their little huts or tents and with their baby, on their shoulder or in the hut. And it also stops the deforestation of developing. It's perfect. It uses the sun. It's free energy. So go to Sun Oven, buy 8 of them, and give them to your friends. So Preparedness, we have a great little website, a lot of information there. Got some cool features. There's what it looks like. So when you go there, you know what it looks like. We also have a pretty active Facebook group. So the way we do this, and I'll take myself off in a minute. The way we do this is each city has their own Facebook page. So we have one big one for PrepperNet everyone. And, we only have like 4,000 members, even though PrepperNet in itself, we have like 34,000 members, but a lot of people don't join, but that's fine. But also each city has their own Facebook page. So just keep that in mind. Go seek out your city. If you don't have one in your city, call me and maybe we can set one up. So we also do this thing called Zelonite. It's an app on your phone, and it's a push to talk. And it's on Monday nights at 8 o'clock. Join our Facebook page. Go on to our website. All the instructions are there on the website on how to download it, how to talk, everything. And we do that every Monday night. We have a great team that runs that. And it's almost like a hamnet. So it kind of gets you used to speaking and talking in like ham radio communications. And that's a one way you can get involved. That's every Monday night. Sometimes when disasters happen, we open it up. It can be used anytime, but sometimes we'll open it up and have moderators to kind of guide the discussion. We also have I call it PRENERT. I love that name. It's an emergency response team. So if you're a nurse, a doctor, a first responder, CERT certified, you just can't be Joe. We're not looking for Joes. We have Joes, and we're looking for someone with some serious training and to be a part of our response team. They're stationed all over the United States. But if you're interested, go to Facebook, ask people how to get involved, and I'm sure someone will answer your questions. So if in the chat room, if you guys, if you can see it and you can hear me fine, just say, yes, I'm not a Joe. I like that. If you can see the screen, me, and hear it, just let me know, and I'm going to go forward. I'm speeding up the announcements here. So I'll wait. So the next thing is we also have a communications team. These are people that are not wannabes. These are people that actually have their ham license. We have a guy named Bravo 65. He's with Amron. We're partnered with Amron, and we're putting together a communication plan, a backbone, all this stuff. So, but if you want to be a part of our communications team, again, go to Facebook and let us know. Okay, this is a 1-minute pitch. I hardly ever do this, and I'm going to do this. So I'm going to provide you 7 weeks of free training. It may be mediocre and it might not be worth a dime, and that's fine. I apologize. But if you're a member of PrepperNet, we have monthly webinars right here. Recently, I've opened it because of the circumstance. I've opened it up to everyone. Usually, a lot of these things are just for my premium members. But we have webinars. We have our experts come on, and we have interviews. You get part of Sam's daily intelligence brief for 3 months. We got a software. It's not working right now because we just switched servers, but you can connect with other PrepperNet members, totally anonymous, and it's pretty cool. It keeps everyone's privacy if you do it right. We have a little discount program. If you join, you get 5 free books. You get Franklin Horton's First, my book, Arthur Bradley, Glenn Tate, and Robert Bradyansky. 5 free books for just joining. It's and you support what I'm doing. So if this class is like, man, it's the most amazing class in the world, you should join and support. If you say, you know what, you stink, and this is the worst class in the world, you should still join. But it's $40 a year, and I don't hardly ever push it. It helps pay. If you can imagine, I'm going to just throw a number out to you just so, because a lot of people think that this is just a money-making event. Every 3 meetups cost $200 a year, and I have 68 of them. Actually 71 or something. So there's real expense in PrepperNet. And so anyway, I hope you guys will, again, I'll leave that there. Also, Sunday nights, we're going to do a thing called PrepperNet Live. I'm gonna bring in. I got confirmation from Margie Wildcraft. Y'all know who that is? Maybe she's coming on live in 3 weeks. So every Sunday night, I'm going to bring on a celebrity in this industry, and I'm going to interview them. We're going to talk. We're going to shoot the breeze. We may joke around. I'm sure we'll joke around. And I'm going to have my experts on. So anyway, that's every Sunday night at 8. This Sunday night, I promised a subject that I was going to teach on, but I am not going to do it. I'm postponing that. I just don't feel comfortable in this day and time right now to go into that. And so if you don't know what that is, that's fine, but we're going to have a good show. There'll be no dancing, and I will not be singing for sure. So I think that is okay. Yes, that is it. I'm going to get right into this. Can y'all hear me? Reload. Still nothing. Can y'all hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3. No audio. Why is there no? Again, YouTube's been having some major issues. Yes, can hear me. Maybe okay. Some people can hear me. So okay. I'm gonna go. Yep, sir. Can hear me now. Okay. So I'm not gonna change anything then. So I can't again. So it's a 7-week class each month. can be in weeks. Everybody got that? And so you can do this in 2 weeks, but there's a lot of buying. There's a lot of reading. I'm going to cover a lot of different areas that you need to go through. My goal is to make you a complete prepper at the end of this program. Now, again, I have this broken down in months, like that's the way I did my book, but you can absolutely go faster. There's, like I said, there's a download at the end of each one of these. I hope you guys got all that. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat, but I will pay more attention to that. I was just going to town. So the next slide. So here's how I'm going to cover this in 4 areas. I'm going to go through things you need to buy. I mean, that's really prepping is you got to buy stuff. You got to own stuff. Things you need to train in. You need to learn skills. Mindset's very important. And then group, because I'm a group guy and you're going to be a group person, hopefully when we finish. So that's how we're going to break this out. And so I'm going to talk about, when we're going to talk about purchasing first, these are things you need to buy. And so if you can imagine, I've got a whole year divided by 2 months. So that's 12 segments we're going to go through. Again, you can make the time as you want. I'm going to tell you what you need to buy in the beginning days of being a prepper. Then I'm going to tell you the skills you need to learn, and then get you start reading and thinking about some mindset things, because when it comes to preparedness, you have to be mentally ready and already thought through some things before it actually hits you. And then I'm going to talk to you about, you need to be in a group, and we're going to talk about, that's how we're going to break this down. So now that everyone seems like they can hear me, I heard nothing once. Okay. So I think everyone can hear me now, no problems, and we'll continue to go. So here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through things that you need to buy, to purchase. I'm going to confirm that y'all can hear me. I'm getting text saying I can hear you. Yep. Okay, cool. So here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through some quotes and go through a few things, but I want you to stop. In order to start your journey of preparedness, you need to know what you're preparing for. I mean, that makes sense, right? I know we're in this big, whatever you want to call it right now, but you need to know what you're going to prepare for. A lot of people prepare for pandemics. A lot of people prepare for economic collapse. They prepare for job loss or health issues within their family. A lot of people prepare for different things. Matter of fact, I found this one. It's actually different things. Some of these I've never heard of, but some people prepare for all these different things. You know, what the heck is a Earth orbit shift? Okay, I've kind of heard of that. Magnetic pole shift. I mean, massive cooling. You know, whatever you're preparing for, you kind of need to know. What are you, I won't say afraid of, concerned about? I would say job loss would be one, or just, getting injured or having some medical issues. But there's a lot of different things that people, I promise you, there are people right now in the chat room, and some of them are afraid of the seas level rising. I don't know. So people prepare for different things. So what are you preparing for? So that's one of the things. So this, my buddy Scott Hunt, since we got the video on, got his book right here. He wrote this. He goes, when people wake up to potential threats in the world around them, they become overwhelmed. They're like, what do I do? What do I do? A lot of people did that here recently. Preparedness empowers individuals to remove fear and reduce your anxiety. Absolutely. That came straight from his book here. But Scott is right on. Once a lot of people, they go through life and they never think about preparedness at all. Also, my friend Jonathan Hollerman wrote this. He goes, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. We've all heard that, right? At the same time, you need to be able to balance the worst case scenario with what is most likely to come to pass. Okay, there could be a asteroid that's going to hit the earth and kill everyone. Well, the chances of that is probably smaller than you losing your job. So let's don't prepare in the beginning for you just dying in the whole world and you got to live under a rock like Will Smith did in I think it was New York City. Don't prepare for that yet. We got to get steps. So you got to know what you're going to prepare for, and then start in baby steps to get there. Okay, that's my friend Jonathan Hollerman. He's a brother from a different mother. So what is prepping? Prepping is the practice of making active preparations for a possible catastrophic disaster. Is job loss a disaster? Yeah, it is. Just think if you were completely out of debt. A job loss is totally different then. And if you got food on your shelves and out of debt. Anyway, so disaster emergency, typically by stockpiling food, ammunition, and other supplies. I mean, that's what preppers are known for. Just buying, and stock. But you know what? There's more to preppers than just buying. And we're going to get to that. So what's a prepper? It's one that acts on that. It's one that actually does the stockpiling, the food storage, and all that. So prepping is one that sees danger in the future and wants to be prepared for it. So it's simple. You know, there is no check mark on my bio that says that I'm crazy because, well, there could be, but it's not crazy because you guys prepare. Every single one of you guys prepare. You do. So you go to the grocery store once a week because you don't want to go the next day, or you buy car insurance. I mean, there's all kinds of things you do to prepare. It's almost like insurance. So let's get to that. So this is from Prepper Aaron. He says, being a prepper is a proactive form of insurance. So their thing, if a hurricane hits the Carolinas again, a lot of people, they're worried that they're going to be, maybe the hurricane will hit them and they'll be affected or loss of life. But after that, they're fine. They got food, they got chainsaws, they got friends, they got neighbors, they got people that can come together and they're deal with the situation. Power might not be on for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, but they're fine because they have taken the steps to make sure that them and their family will be fine. So, but it's a proactive form of insurance. If you buy supplies and tools and invest in your own training, knowledge, you're setting yourself up to better respond for emergencies. So just think of this. Natural disaster happens. The first people that will probably be out helping others are people that know that their family's safe, know that they've got food and water and TP. They've got everything taken care of so they can go and take care of other people. Imagine if everyone was like that. They had their stuff together where they're not worried about their family or because they're safe and we have provisions, we can go and help other people. So that's kind of what Prepper Aaron was getting to. And this is from the Prepper Times because there's different kinds of preppers, guys. There are tons of you. I mean, oh my gosh, there's so many different kinds. We're going to list some of them here in a second because they're all over the board. A well-rounded prepper. You'll need significant preps in like all categories: food, water, medicine, security, heat, light, electricity, communications, so on. The problem is it's very common in preppers and survivalists. They latch on to one thing, and they're a prepper because, well, let's go ahead and throw it out. Let me just throw it out. They latch on and they're like, hey, I have guns. I'm a prepper. I mean, there are so many gun preppers. It's crazy. They don't have food, but they have guns and ammo. That's and then there's some other ones. Actually, let's go to the screen. Let's look. There's the newbie. There's the commander. The commander always knows more than everyone else, and I'm not that person. There's the homestead. Oh, I have a homestead, so I'm a prepper. Not really. Then there's the panicky, which there's a lot of panicky preppers right now. There's the comms guy. We have so many people in PrepperNet, and they do radio, but they don't have 2 weeks worth of food in their house, and they might not even have a gun, but they're a prepper. See where I'm going with this? You got, and then there's the gun. I like let's go down here. There's one. Oh, I'm with her prepper. Oh, I see them all the time. I'm with my husband, and that is that kind of prepper. Oh, I was in the military. I was in the Boy Scouts, so I'm a prepper. Then there's the holistic medicine. There are people that do essential oils and they're preppers because they know their medicine. They know how to take a root of a plant and boom, they're a prepper. No, it's not. It's more rounded. I'm the lone wolf and the conspiracy theory. Oh my goodness, we won't talk about Kyle because he's well-rounded. He's got other things, but he believes in every. So the question is, what type of prepper are you? I know you guys are in there. Oh, there's Mr. Opposite, security prepper. It's crazy. I mean, I see this all the time on our Facebook site. Oh, that's an Opposite. I would never share that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Jim said it the other day to a guy. He goes, are you kidding me? You're in the forum. You've kind of already told people in the world that you're a prepper because you're here, but you're worried about a little bit of information. Come on. So what kind of prep are you? You guys putting that in the chat or not? Oh, jack of all trades. Yeah. So here's the thing is, even if you're a gun nut, you can be a well-rounded prepper. What type do you want to be? I say you be one of all of them. You learn how to handle guns and you learn how to use guns and you do go shooting. But you learn how to do comms. Comms is very important. Then you learn how to do some bushcraft skills. You kind of learn a lot. Matter of fact, I think it's from the Firefox series, or is it Firefox series? I think the guy that wrote that series, he made a statement. And I remember reading it, but he made this statement that kind of stuck to me. He said, the more you have in your head, the more knowledge you have, the less tools you have to carry in your backpack. And that is so true. I mean, look at MacGyver, a bad example. But the more knowledge you have, the less tools, things you have to carry with you. People can't take the knowledge out of your head. They can take your tools, and very easy because they have guns. It's Foxfire series. It's an old series, great little series. But that's what. So what kind of prepper do you want to be? I'm saying you need to be well-rounded. That's what this class is going to kind of go and hopefully get you well-rounded a little bit. But I do want to point this out right here now. Your most important prep is being a part of a MAG group or a survival group, a team. It is bar none the most important prep you can do. Is if it's your family plus a few other people. It can't be just your small family. It has to be more than just your family. But that is the most important. I could take the least skilled person in the world and they could come and be a part of my MAG group and they're totally fine, secure, safe, can be fed, everything. So your skills are important, but being with other people, if I get shot or if I break my ankle, I'm not the person to fix myself. I have to have other people. My wife, so anyway, you got to have other people. You got to have a team. I hope you guys agree with that because it is a team approach. So we're going to go right now. What is a MAG group? It's a group of like-minded individuals. Notice kind of how it starts with Preparedness, kind of like of individuals who pledge to assist each other in times of crisis. The idea is many hands make light work. I am not a doctor. I'm not a sniper. I'm not very good today. I made peanut butter and jelly, and I thought, it's getting bad when I'm making my own lunch, and no, I'm kidding. I made a joke on Preppernet about that, but I'm not a very good cook. I'd like to be, I guess, but I'm not. But other skills, I have my skills are high and some are low. So I need other people around me. You can't be everything in a group. You just can't do everything yourself. Okay, we're going to go through some acronyms here that you may or may not have heard of. And I'm not going to go through every one of them, but we have our own language being a prepper. And it will come natural. Some of these you've probably heard of. Let's see, some you may have heard of. MAG, I've already mentioned that. You probably heard of a bug out bag. A lot of people have heard that. We call that a BOB, a bug out location. CCW, that's not really a prepper term, but we use that a lot. CME and EMP, EDC, everyday carry. What do you carry on your person every single day? So these are some terms that you'll hear. Tiawaki, the end of the world is as we know it. There's a great song that sings that for us. MREs, ready to eat meals, kind of think of military meals there. And so we have our own terms. You'll learn these over time. Some of them there's a lot more than this, but you could literally be in a conversation and not know what the heck people are talking about because they're using some of these terms. We also have other terms that we use that a grid down, I think you could figure that out. Off grid, you could probably figure a bug out. That means you're not going to stay where you are. You're going to leave. Bug in. A lot of people are doing the bug in right now. A cache or a stash, a Faraday cage. Ham is not what I had in my sandwich. I had PB&J, but junk silver, so there are terms as you go down this journey, they'll become natural. You'll use these. I guarantee you these are used in between the acronyms and these terms, every prepper meeting that's happened, someone has used these terms without a doubt. So you can look them up and figure some of them out. So some of you have already started prepping. I love it. Look at that. I took some photos of some of you guys and put them in the class here. Look, some of you guys have already been prepping. You're last minute preppers, but hey, you've been prepping. Look at that. Goodness gracious. Now, some of you are going to be with your family all week, and that's where you went. Okay, so that's a form of prepping as well. I had a friend that went and got some vodka to make hand sanitizer. Ooh, wow. Wouldn't you like to know how to do that? That'd be sweet. But yeah, that's with the family, and that is with MREs. So, oh, that's funny because I'm laughing. So preparedness plan. So you've got to put together a preparedness plan, and we're going to work on that. We're going to kind of go through a little bit of that through this class. But you need to put the most likely scenario first. It could be a job loss. Let's just prepare for a job loss. Let's prepare for, maybe you have to go and take care of your mother because she's ill, or your father, or you may live in Tornado Alley. There's something that could be coming that you need to prepare for. So you make a list of all the things that could happen, and you determine which one is most likely. You can maybe rank the top 4 or something. Then you need to put down who you're prepping for. I'm prepping for my family and for my group. Both. They go together. My family and my group. Some of you may be prepping for your family and your in-laws or your brother and sister. So you kind of got to write that down and know as you go through this journey that you might not just be doing this for yourself or for your own family. Then you got to invest in skills and some knowledge. You've got to learn how to do things. Right now, I'm sure in the chat room, if I ask people, how do you make hand sanitizer? There'll be at least 3 different recipes to make hand sanitizer. How you don't have to go to the store and buy it. You can actually get other products and you can make it. There'll be the holistic person, the essential oils, and they'll have their little the lemon, or I think it's lemon, that you can use. Someone will be putting aloe and vodka or aloe and alcohol. So there's many different recipes that you can make hand sanitizer. So you got to have skills and knowledge. Set a realistic budget. You can't go broke. You don't want to go in debt. And that's simple. Store what you eat. Buy what you eat. In the beginning, you got to buy what you eat. So, and then start small. And we're going to start small. We are. So how are we doing? Everybody in the chat room, they're chatting, which is good. So, okay, we're going to go to the next slide here. Okay, now I told you we're going to go through purchasing, training, mindset, and groups. And looks like everyone can. Okay, I'm just checking on everyone. So here we go. Purchasing. This is for the months 1 through 2, or week 1 through 2, or whatever time frame you put it in. Do these tasks before we go to the next class. Now, you're not going to have time to do them before the next class. If you do, that'd be pretty amazing. But as a beginner, like I said, I wanted to be told what to do. And this is I'm kind of telling you what to do, some of the things. So I'm going to go through. By the time you're finished in class 6, you own an AR-15 and you've been shooting and you've had some classes. So we're starting small, we're going big. So the first thing we're going to do, this is your list. Now, this list is downloadable. I took this straight from my book. I took the word for word when I described something. I put the text there. It's there. It's in the download. I will give that link. The last slide has the download. That stinks, doesn't it? But the last slide, I think, is the next to last slide. And all this is in there, every bit of it. So, and I hope that's helpful. It's like 10 or 11 pages PDF. So with that said, are we ready? Are we ready to be a prepper? There's lots of aspects here. And again, we're going to cover things you need to buy, skills you need to learn, your mindset. Mindset is key. A lot of people overlook it. And then your group. Okay, first thing we're going to do is, let's see how we're doing over here. Sounds good. Yep. All this is okay. Here we go. The first thing you need to do is double your pantry. Now, you guys should have done this. I mean, if you haven't done this right now, maybe you should get a different hobby. I mean, with everything that's going on, I'm just being serious. Why was there a mad rush for food? I'm going to tell you why. I want to go get food when there's only 2 people in my county that has this virus. Only 2. Now my county has like 200. And in a week, it's going to be like 500. I don't want to go shopping then. I don't. And so all you people that go, well, there'll be food in the stores, not going to run out. Well, guess what? You get to shop with everyone carrying the virus. Congratulations. Shame on you. That should be a thought. You should buy is it hoarding? No. The government says we should have upwards of 2 to 3 weeks worth of food, but you don't want to go shopping where your entire county, half the county has this virus. You don't. You want to just kind of shelter in place. So that's why people are going to go. They were thinking, oh my gosh, I'd rather go when 1 or 2 people have it. So you want to know why there were lines? Now, I'm not going to get into the TP thing, but so double your pantry. So buy exactly what you eat now. And it's easy. You can do that 1 or 2 cans at a time. If you eat green beans, buy 3 things of green beans instead of 2. And then you double your pantry. But don't get in the habit of using it. Recycle your food, but still buy it. So take your grocery list, what you eat in a week, and then double it. And then double that. You need to have food on hand for at least 30 days. Every minute of your life, you should have that without a doubt. That's the minimum. You kind of wish you'd have had that. A lot of you guys, well, I know a lot of you preppers already had that, but double your pantry. That's simple. Just buy the food. Guess what? Something doesn't happen, you'll still eat it. You won't lose a dime. You just invest it in your food in the future. Simple. That's all I'm going to say about that. So you need a fire rod. This is a rod that you take, because we're going to learn how to start fire. You've seen people, they scrape it. It throws sparks. That's what this does. But there's ones that are so cheap you don't want to buy, and then there's some good ones. I have linked to the one I love. I have at least 20 of them, maybe more, because I teach survival classes, and so, but that's the one I use. I mean, you can just throw down some sparks. But you need to buy, again, I'm going to go through a list of about 15 things you need to buy right now. And then the next class, there'll be more things. So here we go. Fire rod. 2 Sawyer water filters. I think I'm still on video here. Let me make sure here. I'm going to show you these things. That's a Sawyer water filter. It's $20 in Walmart. Here's one for the family. Does a bigger thing. You can connect it to a 5-gallon bucket. I have to tell you, Sawyer is a sponsor of mine, but everyone in the chat room, everyone that's in the preparedness world will tell you these are unbelievable. One, if not the best in the world. These are unbelievable. $20, and I think this one's like maybe 39. It can do 100,000 gallons of water. Woo, 100,000 gallons of water. $20. Now, let me say this. If you're going overseas on a mission trip, or you're going overseas anywhere, you take this with you. People don't understand, and I preach this all the time to the people in my church. They don't understand it. Their bottled water is different than our bottled water. They have different regulations than we do. You should take one of these. These things will, right there, you can put it right onto a water bottle and drink their lousy water bottle that you think is safe because it's in a bottle, and you suck it through like a straw. You got to do that. People all the time in my church come back and get sick, and I'm like, you know what? I am tired of even talking about it. But it's $20. You put it on any water bottle and you drink it, and it will save you from getting sick. But the water over there is not the same as the water here, and people they don't get it. So next, let's go to the next slide. So 2 water filters. Now, if you have 5 members in your family, they do have a 4-pack that's cheaper, but you don't have to buy all these at once. But I would recommend you have 2 for yourself, because you want to use one in practice, and the other one you want to kind of put in your bag you'll use later. A water tub storage bag. So 3 weeks ago, with all this going on, the county I live in issued a E. coli alert in our water. And you couldn't drink your water. So this didn't really come into play. So I just wanted to go back to this. You got to read there. These are either 0.01 micros or 0.02, I think. And you've got to figure out which is best if you're going hiking or if you're trying to get E. coli out or chemicals. Didn't want to say that. So, but the tub water storage bag is something you put in your garden tub, and you fill it up with water and you store water. So if you know a tornado's coming or a hurricane's coming, or, well, not really a hurricane, never understood that, because you got buckets of water coming down. You can just capture it within 5-gallon buckets. But you can, in situations, you can store water in your bathtub. It's a bladder. You fill it up. It protects the water. Your nasty tub stuff doesn't get on it, because the bag protects it. And then it has a pump. You can pump it right out. And I think that's I don't know, is it 100 gallons that you can store there? But anyway, you need one of them. That's a way to store water. So next, pool shock. Now, this is a tough one to tell you guys to get. It's kind of dangerous. There are at least 50 videos that show you how to use this. I have enough pool shock in a little bag that I could make about, I think 100,000 gallons of bleach. It's what they do is they take one packet, they throw it in a pool that has like 100,000 gallons in it, and it literally bleaches the pool, makes it safe for you to swim in. So what you do is you have because Clorox goes bad over time. It will still clean your clothes, but it after about 6 months, it starts losing, it degrades. Pool shock doesn't degrade, but if you put it in a metal bucket, it's going to rust right through it in no time. So you want to kind of, there's proper ways of storing it and using it, and then there's a proper way of mixing it, and you can literally make bleach from it, which stores are running out of bleach. Just imagine if you knew that, you could have just bought pool shock because it's still on Walmart shelves. People don't know. You could have grabbed one little bag, and you've had more bleach than you can use if you had the skill and the knowledge. Now you do, but you need to buy some of that. I actually have a link in the PDF that you're going to be getting. That is for like a 5-pack. You don't need a 5-pack. I have a 6-pack. That's right here. Oh, goodness. I'm glad I can laugh at myself. But 1 pack would be fine, but I think they were out when I linked it. So let's go to the next thing. So there's bleach right there. You can purify water with bleach. Okay, 5 MREs. Ooh, MREs. That's ready to eat meals. That's just, now you've already doubled your pantry, but these are like 5 meals. Now we're going to start in that next month, next class, you're going to buy some more things. So 5 MREs, because I want you to kind of get used to eating one. You can get the military ones or military-like ones, because it's fun to eat them with your kids. Some of them are, if you're hungry, you're going to eat them. But it's pretty cool. You have to put a little water in there, let it activate, it heats up, and eat. And so I just want you to experience MREs, because you're going to have some in a thing we're going to make called the bug out bag. We're going to have a couple of them in there, or keep in your car as well. So 5 MREs is what you need to purchase at this time. I have a link to a military-like. I don't recommend buying military MREs, and I say that, and I've got some up on the shelf right here. But I don't, because if the military MREs can't be sold directly to the public, so if you're buying them, that means the Army owned them, had them in, or Navy, Air Force, the military owned them, had them in storage, they're near expiring, and so then they sell them to the public. If you don't believe me, Tim from Tim, he teaches this at Prepper Camp. He has a great store too. Old Groucho, that's it. And he tells us, you better know what you're doing if you're buying old military ones. So I got military-like. They have 5 years. I got the link right there. 5 years on there. So the next thing to buy is trash bags. And you're like, what? No, these are trash bags dedicated to the prepping calls, not for your garage or your house. These are black construction bags. I can, in my survival course, I teach you 2 ways to get water with a trash bag, and there's no water around. And I know some of you guys are in the group. I know exactly. One of them is, you can tie the bag around some green leaves. As the sun hits it, the moisture will form, and it will form in the bottom of the bag, and you can drink it. It's pure water. Then you can also make a solar still out of it. You can also transport food and other things easier. There's a ton of things that you can do with a trash bag. Black ones, I would get the black. I would get the thicker ones, and you need to put this in your shelf, prepping for the future, and you need to keep them there, and you don't need to use them for the garbage. So the next is Old Groucho military supply. Thank you. Yes, someone put it in Clyde, North Carolina. Yep. So transportations. Okay. And then also with the trash bags, you can make bedding, put leaves in there, make bedding. I'm telling you, a trash bag can save your life. If you get cold, they're not the best. They're not like a solar blanket, but you can make a poncho out of one. I mean, I could go on here forever. It's the trash bag hour. But yes, there's a ton of things you can do with the trash bag. Let's move on. And I would get a whole pack and just put them on your prepping shelf, because you're going to have a prepping shelf now, preparedness shelf. The next is the SAS Survival Guide. Now, this is a book. I got the link in the PDF. This is a book that it's not really a book you sit down and read. I guess you can. It's quite, I mean, you can read it, but it's like facts on how to make a trap, how to make a solar still, all the different things that just cool things that you want to learn. It's like the Boy Scouts on steroids. It's a book. It's probably the number one selling survival and preparedness guide in the world, I would think. It's a great book. They have small ones, little teeny ones about this big that you can put in your bag. I would have one of them, but I also think you should leave it right beside your chair and you just pick it up and you start reading on, different plants that you can eat or whatever. Great book. I know people in the chat room are it's just a great book. You need it. You absolutely need it. Information in there could save your life for sure. A flashlight. Now, flashlights are like guns. I'm telling you, there are flashlights out there, little small ones that you think is just a pocket flashlight that costs $200. I think it's called a Surefire. And, they're great flashlights. I mean, you could probably drop it from the moon to the earth and it still works. And it go in the ocean about 4 miles and it would still work. But it's $200 and some. So there's some mid-grade flashlights that are decent. The thing is, you do get what you pay for, but I'm thinking once you get to the $60 range, they're all pretty good. If you're buying a flashlight for $13, that's not one that I would want to carry with me. I think I linked one in there. It's a decent flashlight. It's very high marks on Amazon, and I have one in each of the cars that we own, and I've never had it fail, and it's rechargeable, and it's worked great. I think it's like $39. So don't know the name of it, but I found the actual one I bought and I linked it. Find one you like. And so anyway, but if you got the old flashlight that has the bulb in it, you literally take them and throw them in a bucket and then put your garden tools on top of it. They stink. They just drain batteries. You need an LED flashlight. So, I mean, it is 2020. Come on. So, good flashlight. Okay, next is a Leatherman multi-tool. I think it's called the Wingman. I have a couple of them. They are expensive, but they are the bomb. They don't break. It's MacGyver. You really could saw through bank vaults and kill animals and everything with these things. They're amazing. But there are different ones. Walmart makes one that's $4. They do. And I have a ton of them. I have them in all different buckets or kits I have, but they're not my go-to. They're you need a multi-tool? Yeah, I hand them that one. You don't get mine. But so I do have many of the $4 ones, and you know what? When you buy that, expect it to break. And if you have that mindset, that's fine. But when your life's on the line or you're prepared or you go out in the woods and you need to do something, you need one that's going to last. And so I recommend a Leatherman, and you got to get them. You don't get the ones that have 500 items on there. I put the one I have 4 of them, I think, and they're like $59, $60, $69, somewhere in there. But in my bug out bag and in my EDC, that's what I carry because I want it to work. Same with the flashlight. I have a nicer flashlight than I put on here. And because they're different flashlights. They're the little small ones for double A's. Oh, one other thing. As you start buying things in your preparedness journey, you need to go to one battery size, and that is the double A. So that is what I do. Sure, I like to buy one battery, and they're all double A's for every flashlight, headlamp, everything I do, my night vision goggles, everything I do is a double A. My EOTech on my AR-15, double A. Everything I do is rechargeable double A's when it comes to the prepping world. It's easy. My radios, even my batteries for my ham radios, double A. So I like to be standardized. My solar panel, well, they can charge both my little solar kits, but try to go standard. And so if you go with the flashlight that has double A, it's okay. It's thinner. You'll maybe might not like it, but you might like it. But I would standard. I just like the double A batteries. And we're going to get into batteries, what batteries you should buy. I think that's next week. So you'll have a flashlight with no batteries. Just use some alkaline. So that is the first thing. That's the purchase. So let's go through here. Double your pantry. I'm going to put zero value on that because you should do that anyway. That's just smart. The magnesium fire rod, that is, I think, $12. 2 Sawyer water filters, that's 40. So we're at 52. The tub is 20. We're at 72. Pool shock, I don't know what one is. MREs, they're probably $12 a piece. Trash bags, probably $10. I don't know. Survival guides, probably $10. Flashlights, about 30. So that's about $200 some worth of buying, if not a little more. Again, I have links to all these in the PDF that you're going to get later. But so you're going to spend more money than this, trust me. But we're starting out slow. These are some things. Get your little prepper shelf, preparedness bag, and let's start this. These are some things, okay? That's the purchasing. So the next thing we're going to go through is training. Now you got to have some skills. People are, goodness gracious. So the first thing in the skills is you need to learn 2 ways to start fire. 2 ways. So that means you getting out. Hey, you got time. 2 ways to start fires. So the rod that you just purchased, learn how to make fire, because the thing is just not flicking. You just can't get a bunch of sticks and limbs and start flicking sparks. No. It's an art. It's a skill. Once you understand the skill, the art of making a fire, once you understand it, you can make a fire almost all the time, depending on the weather, but almost all the time you get the concept. Because there's a concept there with making fire that, especially with, the rod and throwing sparks, that once you get it, you're like, oh, and then you figure out how to build a fire. And once you do that several times, it's like riding a bike. You will never forget the art of making a fire. So let's keep going. So 2 ways. So what's 2 ways? If you want to do, you got to do the magnesium rod for sure. The other way, if you want to use matches, fine. If you want to use a lighter, fine. That's the best way to make a fire. I kid you not, is a lighter. If you're stuck doing it with sticks, I would rather have a Bic lighter any day of the week than have to make a fire any other way. Plain and simple. But learn 2 ways to start a fire. So here's what you do. You start a fire, you get it going, you go, great, and you put it out. Then you get new sticks, and you start another fire and you put it out. You do that several times, and then get your kids involved. Do that several times where you get the skill, and there's a piece in there I'm not telling you about the fire rod, and I want you to figure it out. Go to YouTube, watch YouTube University, and figure out how to use a fire rod. What other things do I need with a fire rod? What does the tender need to look like, or can it be? Because it can be a ton of different things, and that's some research you can go and look. It's once you get it, it snaps in your head. You'll understand. Next is 2 ways to purify water. Now, in the first section of purchasing, I gave you 2 ways. So one is the Sawyer water filter. these things work amazing. Figure out how to use this. So some of the things you can do with this is you can put water into a bag and then squeeze the bag through the filter into your mouth. You can drink it just right out of a river. Do that. Then you can also put it on a water bottle. Do that. Figure it out. Drink it like a straw from a water bottle. You can put it in line to your bladder, whatever you call it, your water bladder in your backpack. You can put this literally right in line to filter all the water, or you can filter it before you put it in the bag. And so there's many ways to use this. And so learn it and check them out and do it. The other way is pool shock, but I don't want you to open the pool shock. What I want you to do with the pool shock is I want you to go online, watch a couple videos on how to use the pool shock. Then I want you to write down or copy instructions from somewhere that tells you exactly how to make exactly like a gallon or something, whatever. And you print it out and you put it in a Ziploc bag and you put it in the box with a pool shock and you set it, and then you put it in a plastic bucket and you set it there. So that way, when you go to the pool shock, you got the instructions, you read it, and you just take the scoop, put it in water, you stand back, watch the explosion. No explosion, hopefully. And you do it. But you don't really, I don't want you to open one right now. You can, but it's just know how to do that. Okay. So there's two ways. So, and the reason I say pool shock here is because Clorox can purify water. So it doesn't get the chemicals out. It doesn't get the dead bugs and the leaves and twigs out, but that's why you have a shirt. Just run the water through your shirt or through a filter or cheesecloth. But what it does, it kills everything that will kill you in there. And so you put, there's so many drops per gallon of Clorox. Trust me, it works all the time. So do two ways of purifying water. You got at least a week to do it. You guys could probably do this first stuff in a week, except the mindset stuff you might not be able to. So we're learning how to make fire. We're learning how to purify water. Guys, that's huge. If you know how to create a fire and purify water, that's huge. So I think it is. Okay, this is a lifelong journey. This takes time and effort, but when you get this done, you will have peace. I'm telling you, it is peace. When you put your important documents together, when you go, because what happens if your house burns down? You've got every photo, every document is in the house. You have to start your life all over again, and it's going to be tough. But here's what you need to do is you need to get your birth certificate, your marriage license, your insurance documents, your burial plot, your DD 214 if you're in the military. You need to get all these documents, and you need to not only make copies of them and put them in binders, but you might want to scan them on a thumb drive and you do this. And you do this with all your old photos. A lot of you guys are newbies when it comes to just, you've always had a cell phone and every phone you've ever taken is digital. Some people here, believe it or not, when they were young, they didn't have phones. I hate to be them, but they actually have like cards that have photos on them. You need to scan them, all of them, and put them on a thumb drive. Matter of fact, you need to put every document you have on a thumb drive that's important to you. Don't worry about security. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but put them all on there. You can get a 128 gig thumb drive. It will hold every document you have. Every photo you have can fit on that one thumb drive. And you put them all in that thumb drive. And you guys, a lot of you guys have seen me at prepper camp. I don't have my keys with me. I have a thumb drive on my keys. And I'm like, oh, do you want every important document of me, my wife, my kids, every important document? Here, you can have my thumb drive. I challenge you to decrypt what's on my thumb drive. The only people that could decrypt what's on my thumb drive would be a nation state, meaning the United States government. I'm talking the best hackers, probably, they don't have the computing power. The best hackers in the world wouldn't be able to do this without a ton of equipment behind them, or Russia. But your person on the street, I would say that some of the encryption that's on mine, it would have to be the government to really, I don't know, there could be others, but I'm not worried about them. So you put all these things on the thumb drive, all your important documents, everything, photos, anything's important. And then copy of your license, copy of your, I would even do credit card, all that stuff, put it on there. Then you make copies of your thumb drive. You put one in maybe your safety deposit box. You maybe give one to a neighbor. I mean, they can't decrypt it. And so if something happens to your house, what's the first thing people miss or they want to do? They either want to go in there and get their kids, which I would do that. 2, get their pets, shaky on that. 3 is like their photos, their photo albums. But imagine if you had it on a little thumb drive. I mean, life's different when you have everything on the thumb drive. So anyway, that's a life that takes time and it takes effort, and it is not done in 1 or 2 or 3 months. Because it's a constant putting in your insurance papers, some of your health paper, all that stuff. You can actually go online and search on how to do that. And there's a bunch of people that teach you. They sell little inserts that can go into your book and everything. If you print, I would definitely have 2 books though. One with originals, one with copies. Keep it in your safe at the house. And the other one's the copies of paper, like your marriage certificate, birth certificate. I would probably have a copy of that if you could, or if you have duplicates. Like I have 2 birth certificates, and I have 2 Social Security cards. So anyway, boom. And then you put one in your safety deposit box or at your mom's house, somewhere else, somewhere safe. So anyway, that's that. Let's go move on. A personal security check. I would do, this is important. Look around. What things do you do that makes you a target? Do you just open your garage door and without looking, just with your coffee, go and put your keys in your car and go? You need to start thinking about your personal security in every aspect. Sometimes we'll call it situational awareness, meaning I'm walking out of the mall with my wife or going to the car. Okay, who's walking around me? What's going on? Is there someone hiding around cars, water? I walk straight down the path. It gives me time if someone's behind a car. You need to start thinking about that because you're an important person. And if you don't think you're important, then you got to believe that you are, because you are. And so you got to start thinking on how to protect yourself and other people. At your house, do you leave windows unlocked? Do you have a door that can be kicked open? Because you can put like 4-inch screws in the where the deadbolt is to make it a little bit more secure. Do you have locks in your house? I would say 90% of the locks in the house can be compromised with less than 10 seconds by a very amateur person. And I want to tell you about it. I don't want you to go, you can go buy them, I guess, but I want you to know about it. There's a thing called a bump key. And it's a key and it's got these little grooves in it. You can go up to almost 90% of the houses, almost like padlocks, probably 90% of locks. I'm not kidding. And you pull it out, you put the key in, you pull it out a little bit and you hit it with like a little hammer or a screwdriver. The pins are in there like this at different angles. It throws all these up and you turn. And I'm kidding you not. Within 2 hits, I can get in almost all home locks. Just boom, 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 and I can get in. Don't think the criminals don't know this. So you need locks that are bump proof, and they make them. They're not very expensive nowadays. They've gone down in price. Also, that's one thing you can do. Personal security. You have security lights around your house in case someone walks Criminals hate that. Cameras. I got 2 cameras I'm putting up here soon. Also, your garage door. I can get in your garage door in less than 10 seconds and with no electronics. And I'm going to tell you how, just so you can prevent it. And I know this is more than what I'm doing, but anyway. So a garage door, I will take a wood wedge about this big. I would go to the center of your door and I would jam it up in the center of your door. Then I would take a coat hanger and grab your little emergency release thing and pull it and yank the door up, and I'm in. I can do that in 10 seconds. Again, the top of the door in the middle, you jam it, make some room. That right there dangling is your little emergency rope. I grab it with a coat hanger, pull it through, I pull it down and pull your door up. Don't do that. It's against the law. But to prevent that, you take a Ziploc tie and they have a little loop there and you can tie it to the emergency handle so you can't pull it down. It prevents that from happening. It works. Do it. Look. So anyway, that makes your house safer, you safer. And then also, for goodness sakes, don't carry mace. I want you to carry a thing called Red Saber, which I didn't have that in the list. I think I have that next week. Called Red Saber. It's like mace. And you have it in your car. Some angry person come and going to talk smack to you or something. Have at it. Anyway, so let's keep going. Personal security. You need to start protecting yourself and your family. Times are going to get worse and worse. That's another. Oh, did y'all notice I got toilet paper as my background? I just thought that was funny. Anyway, so plant a small garden. Goodness gracious, get a garden going. Plant. It is the time, and it's the time of season, and you've got the time. Plant a small garden. Learn how plants work, how they grow next to each other. Do some potatoes in a bucket. You can do a potato in a 5-gallon bucket or a barrel or even a haystack. There's ways you can cook these things, but do a small garden. Plant some herbs. Just start learning. All this is learning. The goal is to be self-sufficient here. Next is start on a family or personal emergency plan. Now, I have a whole class on that one thing that is not on the market, but it is completed. I will have that out soon. My premium members will be watching that within the next month and a half, or I guess 2 months now that I'm going to do this. But I put a whole webinar class together on putting together a complete emergency plan. Go online. The plans you'll find online is just contact names and medicine, doctors. Not really what I'm talking about here, a little bit more in depth, but just start on it. Okay. And then this is a huge curveball. So a lot of you guys have investments and you can't afford prepping, but you have, this happens all the time. Let me go over here to the chat room. Everyone's still chatting. Yep. Okay. Good idea. Red Saber. Okay. So this is not for everyone, but you can actually take some of your 401k, your IRA, and take some of that money and invest it in things like guns, ammo, long-term storage food. It has to be set up properly. If you only have a few thousand, it's not worth it. If you have probably less than 50,000, it might not be worth it. But it's called a self-directed IRA. A friend of mine, I've helped people set these up in the past. I don't anymore. His name is Ross from Survival 401k. It's just an interesting way that you can actually even own gold and silver in your hand and it's still in your 401k. So you're not penalized. It's just the way you set it up. It's called a self-directed, and it's not the self-directed what banks call it. A self-directed, what banks call it, means you get to pick one of their products to put your money in. This is literally where, oh, it's also called a checkbook IRA. So you can check that out. But Ross Powell, I think his name's, anybody already put that in there? Ross Powell at Survival 401k. If you got any questions and you got all this money in retirement or your 401k and you want to turn it into gold and silver or long-term storage food, guns, ammo, there's a way to do it, and it's totally legal. Is it for you? I have no idea. But I just want to introduce the concept. There are other people that do this other than Ross. Ross is someone I trust. I haven't talked to Ross in probably a year. He has gone to our prepper camp every now and then, though. But anyway, I think that is it when it comes to training. So you're going to learn how to make fire, water. You're going to actually put your documents together. You're going to start thinking more about your security at your home, in your car, when you walk to work, walk to the mall, or when you're going to the bathroom now, because I guess we're home, stuck at home. So plant a small garden and start an emergency plan. Some of these things are going to take a long time to do. That's the training. You need to start. You guys know you need to do this. I'm just kind of hopefully motivating you to do this. Okay, let's go to mindset. Why is mindset important? Mindset is huge. Anytime there's you talk about this, zombies. Let's talk about zombies. Imagine someone going through a hurricane for the first time and half their house is gone. They're going to be there in shock. They're going to be there going, I just lost everything. They're not going to know how to react or what to do. That's where people come and go, oh, let me hold you. Let me comfort you. You don't want to be one of them people. You want to be ready, and you want to think through situations before they happen. The military trains people to, as an event's going on, you see things and you think through it, and then you react. And you do that over and over and over and over in the military. So when bullets are flying and everything's going on, you've seen it, you know the results, you know what needs to be done, and you do it. It's the same thing in life, especially when it comes to emergencies and dealing with people and even like starting a fire and all these things, doing things over and over, you get better at it. So in your mindset, some of the things that you'll see in a disaster, people might not be ready for. And some of the decisions that you're going to make, you've never even thought of this decision. So there's scenarios that could happen. Two guys could come up to your house and say, hey, we've ran out of food. We want food. Give us your food. What do? Do you bring them in your house? Do you shut the door and get your gun? Do you tell them, come back later? You got to think through these things and know what you do before it happens. That's just one small example. So let's talk about a lot of ways to get mindset is to put yourself in a situation. And one of the ways we're going to do that is we're going to read the book 1 Second After. Again, the link is actually in the PDF. I'm sure I would say that this is probably the most read book when it comes to the preparedness and preppers, because a lot of this book got people started. So this is written by a guy named William Fortune. He's a professor in the mountains of North Carolina. It's a great book. It starts you. There's situations that happen. You're like, wait a second, why would they do that? That was stupid. And you'll start thinking through situations that real people, like John is one of the characters in the book. There's a guy named Forrest in there, and I'm not happy because at the end of the book, I have one eye and one arm. So anyway, but there are characters in there, and then you'll go, why did that? And you'll ask questions, and you'll go, oh gosh, I never thought about that. And things will start popping up, and you'll learn so much to read these books that are just make believe, but they put real information in there, and you absorb it, and you go, wow, I never that was very smart what John did there, or what they did, or that was dumb. I mean, it's just so you can start getting the mindset by putting yourself in the character of the book. So read 1 Second After. Great book. And it's a great read too. Again, it's one of the most read books. Start watching, and I know you guys, some of you guys are going to hurt me on this, but the early videos of Southern Prepper One, because he talks about Operation Security, how to keep things secret. You just don't want to go tell everybody at work, hey, I'm a prepper now. Yeah, it's probably the best time in the last 50 years to say that, and people won't laugh at you. This is the first, I mean, so, but you don't want to tell everyone in the world that, hey, you're preparing your family for things to come. But some of Southern Preppers One, he talks about mindset. He talks about some of the things you need to learn. Good friend, right down the road. It's on YouTube, Southern Prepper One. Again, you can pick and choose what you want to do, but I learned a lot just from watching his videos as well. So, and he's got the right mindset. Okay. I would not do this. I don't know who put this in there. Listen to the Prepping Academy podcast. Dude, that's a mediocre podcast. I don't know. Actually, there's some good information in there. I interview a lot of people. It's Kyle is my co-host, or Tenderfoot, depending on which week when you're listening to it. We've interviewed. I'll tell you one of the interviews that was probably the interview I enjoyed more than any was they're all good. Is a guy named Dr. Arthur Bradley. He works for NASA. He's a brainiac for NASA. And I asked him every question I could come up with about what an EMP and a CME would do to America, even down to your cell phones. And he is the genius in this area. And I got more compliments on that, saying, man, you asked the same questions I wanted to know. But the Prepping Academy podcast, it's, I don't know. It's listen to it, pick and choose the ones you like to listen. I go over this whole thing, I think, in the early days. So that's one thing. Watch the movie Panic in the Year Zero. It is black and white, but it is a old flick. It is interesting. It is one of probably one of the first preparedness, doomsday prepper kind of movies. Notice I'm not putting doomsday preppers on here, but it is a good, decent movie. There's some decisions they make in there, and you're like, gosh, I can't believe that. And it's a black and white movie. I actually have the link where you can go, I think, and possibly find it. I know that Netflix or Amazon Prime, somewhere they have that. I know you can find it. I actually searched it in Google and found it where you can watch it for free. I'm not saying you should do that, but it was right there. You could watch it for free. But Panic, it just gets you start thinking about some of the things going on. I hope that's good information there. Okay, the next is one of my favorite books. This is Jonathan Hollerman. This is Survival Theory. And I love this book. When I read this book, I immediately texted him. I said, dude, you actually took the words out of my head and put them in this book. We think just alike. And he was actually, I had him on one of my shows a few weeks ago. But this guy thinks the same way. When you find someone that thinks the way you think, he should be your friend probably. And this Jonathan is awesome. But he started in here because I have all these gun nuts in the prepping world. They're guns, need more guns, need scopes, need more ammo. And I'm like, and I was so frustrated because there's more than guns. Matter of fact, and Johnson said it beautifully. He goes, if you're in a gunfight, I'm paraphrasing, you're screwed. Don't ever get in a gunfight. Run if you have to. You don't want to be in a gunfight. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And people talk about defending their retreat. So if you have your retreat set up right, and I know this is advanced, and you got all your food in your retreat, and you're down in a bunker fighting people from getting to your food and family, as these people are shooting over your head, them bullets are going right into your house. Boom, boom, and your kids and your wife and families up there. All your food, your water, your all your liquid. I mean, it's not good. Don't store all your stuff at your retreat or any one place. You got to hide it, move it, put it some other places. Let them have the retreat and then go back and get it later. And I know that's total advance, but I liked some of the things he said. I have a link for that. It's called it's Survival Theory, a Preparedness Guide. Good book. Anyway, next, let's see what I have on here next. So you got to read that. That helps you think through situations. He tells you and goes through some things as well. It's amazing. I know that it's such a good book. We've actually had meetups that will take a chapter a month and go through this book. I know our Asheville group did that. So next, let me get a drink here. This is good Southern sweet tea that my kids call unsweet because I don't put a lot of sugar in there. So the next is, that's it. So there's your mindset. You're reading these books, you're getting in the books, you're looking at the characters, their decisions, listening to the podcast, watching Southern Prepper 1, and all of a sudden you're going to start learning things and you're going to go, wow, I never even thought about that. Trust me. This is the mindset. This is, and I'm not sure you could probably read them books if you want to, but I don't know. So again, all this is in the notes that I'm going to be providing. So the next is groups. And how are we on time? So we need to end here in a little bit. Group. A group is your most important prep. I'm going to say something that a lot of people will disagree with, and I don't care. If the person you're being trained from, either through a YouTube video or you're going to their training class, if you're going to anything that you're doing in this arena, I think bar none, it's the most important prep. There's nothing even close as being a part of a group of people. If that's the case, then the people you listen to on YouTube, make sure they talk about groups, because if they don't, they're not in one. And if they don't talk about things when it comes to a group, they're not in one. So if the most important prep is being in a group and all these experts, they don't talk about groups, that's because they're not in a group. That means some could argue they're not real. I would not say that. I'm just saying some would argue, dude, if the most important thing's in a prep, being in a group, and you're teaching me how to shoot a gun, but you're not nothing about groups, then people will argue, well, it's OPSEC. We don't want you to know that I'm in a group. I've been in a group for 20 years. Either they're the worst group ever that can't keep secrets, or they don't plan, or they're just not very. I'm just saying that's baloney. It's baloney. I consult with groups all the time around, mostly in the Southeast, because I don't want to travel any further than that. Jonathan Hollerman, he does billionaires and millionaires. Most important thing is a group. And so you're just make sure you learn from people that truly believe in what they're doing. That's all I'm going to say. So on my expert panel, they all believe in groups and they all talk about groups. And if they don't, I'm going to kick them off. Except those that can beat me up. Okay, so join a local PrepperNet group. We have 65 on the maps. 2 are coming on the map. And we just signed up a Southeast Atlanta. Join one and go. Get involved at least on their Facebook page or in their meetup so you can see when their next meeting. The meetings will probably start back here in a couple months because we got to get America going again. So join, and when a group, and if there's not one in your area, let's start one. And there's a process that I go through to do that. If there's one in your area and there's no leader, because I do have like 8 cities that don't have leaders right now because of one thing or another, but step up, be the leader. It's so easy to be a leader. And every one of my leaders, which I know some of them are in the chat room right now, they love it. They absolutely, they love it. So okay. So join a local PrepperNet group. You've got to meet other people that knows a lot. I mean, that know more than you. And trust me, when you go, you'll learn more. You'll meet people. Some of the people you go, dude's a freak. They're a freak. Oh, I like them. I'm going to hang out with them. That's okay. There's not freaks in PrepperNet. Well, there are 2. But anyway, you've got to meet other people. Chatting online does not cut it. I'm just saying, you don't have to go in and go, hey, my name's Jim Smith, and I have 500 guns and 400 here's photos of my property. You don't do that. A lot of our groups actually use code names. I mean, we have in our Raleigh group, they make me mad because they all have code names. So we've got Cowboy, we got Espresso, we've got I can't even think of all their names. But they have these names. We got Mother Goose. We've got Elemental. We got people that sometimes they don't use their real name. That's fine. But you'll get to know and like some people, and your friends will change. That's a group webinar that I do. So next is Friend a Prepper. Oh my gosh. If you're new, you've got to call someone. So I'm going to tell you something that has been going on for the last few weeks, more than a few weeks, for the last few months. And I'm ashamed to tell you this. Almost. I have a friend, prepper, and like 11 o'clock at night, we always call each other and talk for sometimes 30 minutes. We talk about what he prepped, what I prepped. It's Kyle. He's on my podcast. Yeah, he's boring Kyle. But he's like telling me what he's doing in his bug out retreat, or telling me what he did to his truck, or his new part for his gun, or he's planting his garden. He went to get dirt today for his garden. I'm like, you're going to go out? And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to go get. And we've been talking, and and I learned just from talking to him, and I get motivated because he's like, I'm planting my garden. I'm like, oh, I need to get my garden going. So anyway, Friend of Prepper, we're not all evil and crazy. And I mean, I was a banker, so yeah, I could be evil and crazy. But yeah, meet a new friend. It's a prepper. Next is bring up this entire thing going on. I don't want to say these words a lot. If y'all notice, I've been kind of just because I just don't want to. Anyway, bring it up to a neighbor and say, hey, yeah, man, because you just because you say, hey, we went and got toilet paper and water doesn't make you a prepper, okay? But go to your neighbor and say, hey, did y'all go out shopping any? What did y'all do to get ready for this? Or, give me some suggestions because we're new at this. Just bring it up. Get other people's opinion on this from the standpoint of preparedness. Ask your neighbor, say, hey, I got 3 rolls of toilet paper and I think we're good. Things like that. Just bring the conversation up, because what you're going to start learning is there's a stigma around people that prep. We think it's the smartest thing in the world to do, to take care of a family in case a disaster comes. But some people go, anyway, but talk to random people at work and just say, hey, what kind of things did you and your wife do? Or where do you see this thing going? Kind of interview people, and you'll be amazed at the responses you'll get, because some people, we call a lot of people kind of like they're sheeple, meaning they can't really take care of themselves. They have to have the dog to take care of them. They're in the field and they only see the butt of the sheep in front of them, kind of thing, and they don't do any planning, and they're just not ready for a lot of things. There's other terms I can use, trying to be nice. So bring this up and talk to people. and when you talk, because you're in this class now, when you talk about this to someone, you're going to think about things different as they answer some of your questions. Okay, guys, that is it. Here is where you get the book. I hope it works. But you can download this workbook at preppernet.com/plan1. And I tested it early and it worked. And it's a PDF. Everyone should be able to download a PDF. Now, I'll tell you this. I didn't think about this, and I'm going to apologize right now. Okay, this is a book I wrote, and I literally got a few things out of the book and put it in this into the and made this PDF, put the links in there, put a couple things about Preppernet and the podcast. But this book has never been edited. I didn't think about this. I have yet to send this to my editor to publish. So this is like 2 pages out of my 58,000 word document. And I just copied and pasted because this is kind of straight from my book. And so if there's grammar problems, which I'm sure there is, if there's spelling, I don't think I saw any, but anyway, please know that you got the raw material. If you tell me, you know what, if Joe Face is in the chat here or anywhere, if you tell me I misspelled a word or it's something's, come on, give me a break on that. I'm giving you raw. This book has not been published, and I just wanted to give you guys something. So I want to make sure would someone cut and paste that in the chat room, please, or well, you can't really do that, but if you could put that in the chat room so everyone can have that would be great. But it's preppernet.com/plan1, and someone download it and make sure that it works. If I'm telling you, there'll probably be a lot of people getting to it right now, and you don't have to download it right now. I mean, they're getting an error. Sorry. Let me. Okay, you guys have totally crashed my server. Okay, so there's something going on there, even though I tested it earlier. It will be downloadable. I guess all you guys are going to it. I don't know. I just moved to a new hosting company. It worked fine for some people, but some people it didn't. So just wait a little bit. It's there. I guess that when I got 7,800 people on this call. Some people are getting it, so just take your time. It'll be there. I didn't think about this many people trying to get it at once, that it would be a problem. I apologize. Yeah, just chill. It'll be there. Try. So you just everybody write it down, and you can get it tomorrow. It'll be there. So with that said, I'm going to move on. Everyone has that. This video will be up for at least until next week. So it will be up next week. Make sure you do sign up on the link, because next week or the week after, I'm using different technology because of the things I'm sharing. And if you're going to look for it on YouTube, you won't find it. So make sure you sign up to get the actual, because I'm going to do it. Yeah. So make sure you sign up on that list and that's, that is, so some people are getting it and some people aren't. Some people's bedtime. I just saw that. So the next thing is I want to share is this. Next class is April the 2nd. It's class number 2. It won't be a lot of announcements in the beginning. It'll be more just a class. So here's what I want you to do. If you know people, you talk to people at work, and they want to learn, or your family members, and you can see this is rated PG, and I'm telling you, exactly what to do and how to do it, and you enjoyed this, I need you to do two things. I need you to share this with your friends. So we can, the more people that are prepared and that know this information, the better we are, that our society is. And the second is I want you to join PrepperNet as a paying member. But I'll only say that once. But share this with your family and friends. Share them the link. It's preppernet.com/plan. They put their email address in, and then they'll get the email for the next thing. Share that with people. And then, because this is free, I'm literally, all this is free, all this 7 nights. And then I don't want you to forget about Sunday night at 8 p.m. We're going to be, I've asked Scott Hunt. I'm not sure he's jumping on with me or not. He is going to get back to me. But join us Sunday night, 8 p.m. on YouTube, this channel, this very channel. You don't need to subscribe through an email for that. So that is all I have, guys. Let's see. I don't know how many people we had tonight, but so I hope you guys are getting that document. If not, just wait. I did not even think about, here I'm an old webmaster. And oh, Linda is in the house. Linda, are you, hang on. Are you? Yeah. Okay. Some of these people, I want to make sure they're my moderators, and they're there, and she is. Okay. Well, guys, that's it. I will see you guys next week at, it's going to be at 8 p.m. again. And I'm not sure. Make sure you sign up at preppernet.com/plan. If you want the document, it's preppernet.com/plan1. So with that said, I think we're going to end it. And I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this, man, please, I love encouragement. I don't need it, but man, it just, send me a message saying, hey, that was good. Or, even, hey, I was expecting more. Don't send one saying, hey, can you buy this stuff for me? But the link isn't working to download. Thanks, Tasha. Tasha's in the house. Why isn't Tasha? What's Tasha's username? But anyway, I'll see you guys next week, April the 2nd, 8 p.m. And if you got any comments, info at preppernet.com. And I promise you this, you'll be able to download this soon. You guys take care, and God bless.